Welcome back. I'm Brian David again.
And I'm Roy Figueroa.
Okay, now we're going to show you how quick, simple, and easy it is to use the Wizzax. So you'll show up at the gig with your case that you'll arrive in the mail for you when you get your Wizzax.
Your Wizzax comes in a nice, solid, flight-ready case.
And so, showing up to the gig, so as simple as take it out of the case. You pick your selected size backplate that will fit your guitar. Simply insert, put it at your preferred positioning on your instrument. It'll tighten, just a few turns, and you are ready to go.
And all that's left to do is connect your audio. So you can just take the same cable that you would normally plug into your microphone, and you're going to route it the same way you would normally run your guitar cable. A lot of people put it through the strap for strain relief, and you just simply plug it in at the top, and you're ready to go.
As we're developing the Wizzax, I was wondering myself, how am I going to adapt and how is it going to feel on the guitar? Well, this current model, it feels really light. There's no overhanging balance. It fits right on and this is a nylon string guitar, which is normally very light, so it feels great to me. As far as inhibiting my performance, I still have full range here. People put it different places, and with the mic, I still have no problem reaching the frets where I need to play.
Yeah, it's totally out of your way. The only thing, some people, is like if you're not used to having the mic right there in front of you, of course you are when you're singing, you want it right there. But then when you want to get out of the mic, it's just a simple tilt of the neck, and you have full vision of the fretboard. You can play, you can concentrate on playing, and it's not there in front of your face anymore, and you can bring it right back. So I'm singing, now I'm playing. And I'm singing, now I'm focused on playing. And it's that easy.
So I'm sure you're wondering now, well, how does the microphone actually sound? What is the quality of the microphone?
Yeah.
Well, one common denominator that for anyone that's beta tested our product so far is that, wow, the microphone sounds incredible. But don't just leave it for me. Roy's actually going to take you on and do some A/B testing from here to here, from some of the most industry standard microphones. So you take them off.
Okay. Now you're actually hearing the sound of the Wizzax itself. I've got a windscreen on to reduce some of the sibilance. And just to let you know, we're not adding any equalization or post-audio adjustments or effects or anything like that to any of the sound that you're going to hear from the Wizzax or any of the other microphones we're about to use. That way you can compare just the pure sound of the microphone itself. Now the first thing I want to show you is why a headset system cannot compare to the performance of a Wizzax, and it really does not matter how high of quality the microphone on the headset is. Here's why. So we're going to try this test with the headset. The thing with the headset is that you can't vary your distance from the microphone, so you have to set it at a pretty good volume for when you're singing at a normal volume level, about like what I'm speaking now. And if you sing really nice and softly, it still sounds pretty decent. But where the problems really happen is if you need to get loud. When you're loud, it gets really distorted and yucky. Now, when you're Wizzaxing with a Wizzax on your guitar, you still have all of the movement and freedom, availability of a headset, but you also have the distance variability and sound quality of a handheld or stand-mounted microphone. So when you're singing normally, you sound good. If you want to get really soft, you can just get really close and still have a nice full sound. And if you want to get really loud and get a little obnoxious or whatever, it still doesn't blow out anybody's eardrums, and it doesn't blow out the PA and distort. Great. Now we're going to do a feedback test. I've got them plugged directly into the speaker that you see here. So this test is not for sound quality because I've got it adjusted right to the edge of feedback. And as you can see, they're both adjusted to the same volume level. Hello. So they're both adjusted the same. This is, again, the Shure SM58, and this is the Wizzax. So I'm going to kind of move closer
But as opposed, now that I'm on the Wizzax, I'm grooving over here. Hey guys, what's happening? Over here, hey guys, hey the audience, I see you. I like to do this when I'm really getting with the beat, right? when we're doing like a reggae group, jamming. Yep. And then really I've noticed a lot of people like the sway, and that simple little movement. You feel the music better. And this is like the big adaptation of what we're creating here.
Yeah, like you said, you can feel the music, and it just feels, and it's natural. So instead of, if I'm wanting to bounce, you can't bounce. If I'm wanting to sway, well, I can, if I want to look over here or look over there, it's just, you really realize how constricted you are once you actually try a Wizzax. You try it, then you go back to this archaic contraption, and it's like, yeah, I'm done with that. And speaking of the ability to wander the stage, one of the most exciting things that the Wizzax makes possible is the ability to go wireless. You can simply just unplug from here, and they've got there's all kinds of these new little wireless transmitters available on the market for microphones. Just plug it in, and now you're completely wireless.
This is great. This is how I like to do it.
Yeah, it's just such a freed feeling to be able to even just step over there. We're on stage performing. I can walk up to Brian and be like, hey, we could be singing together. And another cool thing too, like we often play outdoors in different environments, and like if you're busking or something like that, now if you have a battery powered amplifier to go along with your wireless setup, I mean, you could be walking down the street literally at any time. You just set your amp down, blink, you're wireless, you're amplified.
Yep, I'll do it. I'll walk up to a performance. Sometimes I've got my amp in one side just like that, and this is ready to go on Wizzax. I'm completely wireless. I can show up for a paid gig 10 minutes prior, no problem.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really enjoy is Wizzaxing is a lot of people like to rehearse right at home all the time. And it's really nice to be able to just wander around the house and listen as you're singing and pace as you're practicing. That's a wonderful benefit. Not even just off stage as well. Sitting on the couch and be able to move around and
yeah, that's a good point. And sometimes we play sitting on a stool or on a chair, and obviously when you're singing into a mic stand, you have to sit in that one position. And what I realized when using the Wizzax is, I can kick back in the chair and I can sing. And then if I want to sit up, I can do that too. If I want to stand up, I can do that too. I don't have to readjust the microphone. We even had a girl who was sitting on the floor using it. And we were thinking, like, gosh, if she had to, we'd have to get a boom and put it down there for her. And then if she stands up, oh, wait, readjust everything. With the Wizzax, it's right with you, no matter where you lay down and sing if you want.
If you need to run into the kitchen and grab a glass of milk.
Yeah. So it's an entirely new performance experience, honestly.
It really
is.
is.
Completely new.
And we're the only people that get to do this right now.
Yeah. Maybe we don't want to share. It's mine.
Go away.
We love the Wizzax. Using it, we've gotten used to it. It's just a lot of fun. But seeing how other people adapt to it is interesting. Wanted to seeing how people, when they use it for the first time, how are they going to react? My dad was a really good example because my dad's in his 70s. He's been playing his entire life, and he's really old school. He's a guitar player and singer. He doesn't use any foot pedals. He doesn't use effects. He doesn't even use reverb on his amplifier. So this is not a gear guy. He's the opposite of a gear guy. And when I was telling him about the Wizzax, he was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, no, really, Dad, it's a cool thing. You're going to be able to put this on your Les Paul. And he was like, I don't think so. And once we actually had a working model, and I actually got him to put it on his guitar and had him try it. And I was amazed, and he was also amazed at how it didn't take any adaptation at all for him. After the gig, it was like, well, what do you think? He was like, that's great. I didn't even actually think about it. It's just there. So that was nice to see from an old school guy.
Yep, and I witnessed a lot of that as well. And with your dad.
Yeah.
And so, and I had a friend, Brandon Rawls, up in Flagstaff.
B-Dub.
And he has a band, Summit Dub Squad, iconic band. They do a lot of great stuff. So I asked him if he'd like to beta test the Wizzax. He agreed excitedly, but actually right before a gig, and he ended up not using it. And I was like, Brandon, and he was like, well, I didn't get a chance to try it or feel it out. I was a little nervous about it. So he actually, he was like, but I'll use it for the next gig. And so we were there, we showed up, it was a great show. And then at the end of the gig, we grabbed our Wizzax back and we took it, and then we went back to our hotel and went out to breakfast. The next morning I get a call from Brandon, and he says, well, hey, so
where you guys at?
Where you guys at? And I was like, well, you going to join us for breakfast? And he's like, well, no, I don't have time. But he was like, but so you're taking the Wizzax? I can't. And I was like, I really want to use it again, and so we're like, okay, if you're going to use it, you can use it again.
Yeah, he basically came and he showed up, and we're sitting there eating breakfast, and hey, how's it going? Shook hands, and he wasn't gonna leave the freaking restaurant unless we let him go with the Wizzax.
And so he got his Wizzax, and he was gone.
He had to have it. So try it, you'll like it.
Yeah.
At this point, you might be wondering, this all sounds great. I could use it. It'd be great for my performance. I can tell. But what are other people going to think about it? What does the audience think when they see the Wizzax on your guitar? It's a new thing. Are people going to think you look weird? Are people going to, do I look strange? Does it look clunky? What do other people, how do they perceive it? We wondered the same thing, and we've been using it for quite a few years now. And we've actually got a lot of feedback from different audiences on what they think, and it's not at all what we were expecting. So we'll get into that in the next video.